Hi, it's Todd with Prairie Edge Service. Wanted to show you how I can sharpen scissors with the vevor 1x30. And it all comes back down to how and what I did for mounting my jigging for my angle guide. And my primary method of sharpening for my knives and stuff like that is with a Vail 1x42. So I have all kinds of accessories for that. So I designed my 1x30 to be able to take the same adapters and the same angle guides. So for doing scissor sharpening, what I have, one person asked about wanting to be able to see me using twice as sharp clamp. Well, I don't have the twice as sharp arm. I have the Vail arm. So what I've done is I've designed these things that I can take the Vail system, and this is the Vail arm for the Vail scissor clamp. And I've made these such that I can put in any of my Vail accessories into the unit and use it with my 1x30. Now, if I just turn around, and I'm just going to reposition this so I'm a little bit more in a vertical state. There we go. So the Vail scissor clamp comes in this configuration. This is the actual Vail clamp. But the one thing that I don't like about the Vail clamp is if you take a look at the arm here, the clamp is on this side and the solid piece or the reference is on the outside. So when I put a scissor in here, it has to be a scissor that the outside is the reference angle. So if I'm doing that, I can turn around and use this clamp for this mechanism. But that's one of the reasons why I don't like the Vail scissor clamp, is because it's using the outside as the angle reference. So anytime that you're measuring the angle, it's relative to the outside, which has to be flat. And there's a lot of scissors that aren't like that. So what I did is that I really do like the twice as sharp clamp. But the twice as sharp clamp has a different mechanism for mounting, and I wanted to have the ability to do both. So I made this 3D printed part, and what it does is it snaps onto the Vail scissor arm. It's a very snug fit. And once I've got it in place, I can now use the twice as sharp scissor clamp to do it. And why I like the twice as sharp is when I'm undoing this, the moving part is on the back side, the reference part is on the inside. So when I turn around and take my scissor, which is this one, when I place it in, it's on the inside surface of the blade. So the inside surface is the cutting plane in this case, and you'll always find a flat surface on the inside. This is why I prefer the twice as sharp clamp for any of the work that I do with sharpening scissors on the 1x30 or the 1x42 on my Vail. So I'm using, just to be clear, I'm using the Vail scissor clamp arm with the twice as sharp clamp. So in this situation, and the other reason that I like this is the way I position this up. This is 0 degrees, so it doesn't matter relative to the platen. So it doesn't matter what angle I rotate this, I could sharpen sort of at that angle and it's still going to be the same. I can have it at this angle and it's still going to be the same because everything is relative to the platen. So in order to do sharpening, what I can turn around and do is a lot of times I like to do my sharpening with the scissors in a trail leading configuration, because then I don't get a huge burr on the inside edge. And I can also look to see where the deep divots have been removed, because with the light over top, I can look down and see any of the huge damage. So in this case, I'm using the 120 grit, and I've actually already measured this one. And the nice part about this, I can easily pull this off and inspect my work. So I can see that I didn't quite get up to the corner. So that one's done, 120 grit. A lot of time people can turn around and just go with like a 240 grit. I like to still continue with, because there's a lot of times when I get the scissors, they're so heavily damaged. And so I will turn around and go and approach it with the same abrasives as I do the knives. That's 120, and then I'll finish up with the 600 Trizac. And the nice part about this, using either the 1x30 is, or my Veil, because they all use the same motor, is that I've got true variable speed. So I don't have to have things running very fast. And that way it controls the amount of heat going into the scissors, because scissors are usually will heat up a heck of a lot faster than knives, especially on the Trizac belt. Couple more passes. And I find that when I use the Trizac, and this is Trizac A30, I think that's a 600 grit, it really gives me a nicely finished edge that is very close in appearance to a factory finish. We've got burr across the entire area. So it's a nice repeatable method. It gives me a really nice solid finish edge. I don't know if I can show you what it looks like. And the grains are all consistent. That's one of the reasons why I really like using the clamp system with the 1x30 for utility type scissors. It gives me that true factory appearance edge. And all I have to do is knock the burr off and cut it off. So a lot of times, rather than just going and cutting it off, I'll use the white honing stick from Wolf and just knock that burr off first before I turn around and cut it off. And in this situation, I have the other one to do, but you get the understanding of how adaptive this approach is, and I can take this same equipment that I have on the Veil 1x42s and use it on the vevor, or in this case my delinda, I think it is, 1x30. And it just makes it such a utilitarian type setup that I can easily switch from knives to scissors and give me that true factory appearance and form fit function with the regular scissors. Hope that helps. See you in the next video. Thanks. Bye for now.